Good morning.
Felonies, and that
D-Day today,
somehow
June 6th, 80th anniversary. Put together a little commemoration, which won't be able to be heard on here because we can't hear what's playing from the board. But basically, it's Eisenhower's speech to all the troops before they launched to go storm the beaches of Normandy and put some music behind it. I had a friend of mine listen to it last night. He was like, yeah, it's pretty good. He's like, here's some production notes. I was like, it's good. So it's pretty cool. Not that war is cool, but cool to get production notes. Hey, wins all the way around for sports ball. All right. Okay.
This morning, we found
need to find local sports ball.
Circuit Court charging 3 defendants in connection with an alleged conspiracy to have electors who were not duly appointed presidential electors meet and cast votes in Wisconsin in December 2020 and transmit a so-called certificate of the votes of the 2020 electors from Wisconsin that in part referred to these electors as the duly elected and qualified electors for president and vice president of the United States of America, Wisconsin, and vice president. Specifically, the complaint charges Kenneth J. Chesborough, Michael A. Roman, and James R. Trupus with conspiring to commit the crime.
All right.
As genuine, a forged writing or
Champions, record breakers, and on honorable mention lists. Girl Athletes of the Year, honorable mention list. 5-star rating. KAHI Dederich of Colfax High School is Auburn Journal. That's it right there. That's what we're going to talk about. KAHI, I have to. Dederich of Colfax High School is Auburn's Journal Girl Athlete of the Year for 2023-24. Dederich is a throwback multiple sports star plus 2. She helped lead the Falcons to league and San Joaquin section championships in soccer and basketball. She was a long jump league champion, league champ in track and field this spring. She plays volleyball, and last fall she added a 5th sport, joining flag football for its inaugural season, and of course made a stellar impression with a whopping 34 interceptions. Good news for the Falcons and bad news for opposing players in her 5 sports. She'll be back for her senior year in the fall. She'll be back. All right. That's it. That is there's the free hazardous waste drop off. Talk about that. Any other announcements?
Each year from 2024 to 2028 is expected to range between 1.1 and 1.9 degrees hotter than the start of the industrial era.
There is nearly 9 in 10 that at least one year between 2024 and 2028 will be the hottest on record, even hotter than 2023, which smashed all temperature records. And this report makes it clear that we are on a record-breaking warming path. It's expected to get even worse over the next 5 years. There's an 80% likelihood that the annual average global temperature will temporarily for at least one of the next 5 calendar years. Back in 2015, the chance was close to 0. Beyond
Here we go.
predictions and statistics,
I feel like I should be prepping something right now.
Trillions of dollars.
What am I missing?
Losses, millions of lives upended.
We got sports, and we've
destruction
got
of fragile and precious ecosystems and the biodiversity that exists there. What is clear is that the Paris Agreement target of 1.5 degrees C is hanging on a thread.
A study released Tuesday by 57 scientists said that as the world keeps burning fossil fuels, Earth is likely to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit in 4.5 years. Now, the European Central Bank plans to move ahead of the Fed Reserve today and cut interest interest rates, making the Eurozone the
emails coming
biggest
through?
rich world economy to begin easing borrowing costs for businesses
there we go.
and consumers. And the inflation that arose after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine slowly recedes. ECB President Christine Lagarde and other officials have made it clear that a quarter-point rate cut from the current record high of 4% is more than likely. Such a move would represent a switch from the onset of the inflation surge, when the Fed took the lead in tightening credit by raising rates. Beginning in March of 2022, the ECB started about 4 months later. Here at home, the Fed Reserve faces a different economy, one in which government stimulus and pandemic recovery spending and more robust growth fueled inflation. The U.S. Consumer Price Index is at an annual 3.4%, far from the Fed's 2% target. More on the way on this Thursday morning. You can always reach out to me on social media. I'm at Matt Ray Talk. You've got America's First News.
In a study,
You gotta hear me.
83% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com.
So I was getting sent in the junk email?
Only now available
What?
to you too. Totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian in the car doctor. Your automotive prescription.
Ah.
After this.
No wonder.
Increased fuel
The
economy
emails
up to
are getting sent to
7.9%
the
with
freaking
Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme.
junk
The
email.
solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with DEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving
Folder.
experience. Upgrade to
Inbox.
Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck, is designed with a specific fuel in mind. Read your owner's manual. What octane rating does the vehicle manufacturer call for? That's what you should use. But there are exceptions to the rule. Many high-end or luxury vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just due to the octane rating. There are better fuel system cleaners in premium fuels. Gasoline companies know too that vehicles that run on premium won't perform as well with carbon deposits. So they pack more cleaning power into their premium fuels. If you rotate your fuel choices around, say, every third tank, you may find better performance and miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system while you drive. Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription, I'm Ron Ananian,
3,
car doctor.
2,
See you next time.
1. And good Thursday morning to you. It is Thursday, June 6th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently, it is 71 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 97 degrees. Buckle up. Here comes the heat. All right, it is time for sports ball. We'll start in the MLBs, in the parks. Where, I don't know. I don't have a good analogy for that. A's versus the Mariners. Let's start right there. It was a good night for the A's. The A's on top there. Take that one 2-1. The A's play the Mariners again tonight. They'll close out that home series tonight. Or actually today, I should say. Looking at the start time, radio start time is 11:55 this morning. So we've got an afternoon game starting today. Radio start time here on KAHI, 11:55 a.m. this morning. First pitch is at 12:37 p.m. this afternoon. So cool, an afternoon game today. Again, radio start time 11:55 this morning. First pitch is at 12:37 this afternoon. Baseball on in the afternoon. That's going to be a good day. Padres versus the Angels, an all Southern California game there. Angels fly away with that one again, 3-2. And we've got the Giants versus the Diamondbacks. Ooh, this one made me smile. The Giantbacks. What? What is happening? The Giants win that one on top there. The Giantbacks, gracious sakes. The Giants win that one 9-3. And what made me smile even more, Dodgers versus the Pirates. Pirates crush the Dodgers 10-6. Here we go. Giants win, Dodgers lose. That's a good day for me. Going to the Auburn Journal here. We've got the Auburn Journal's Female Athlete of the Year, Kaya Dieterich, of Colfax High School is the Auburn Journal's Girl Athlete of the Year for 2023-2024. Dday is a throwback multiple sports star +2. She helped lead the Falcons to league and San Joaquin section championships in soccer and basketball. She was a long jump league champ in track and field this spring. She plays volleyball, and last fall she added a 5th sport, joining flag football for its inaugural season, and of course, made a stellar impression with a whopping 34 interceptions. Good news for the Falcons, bad news for opposing players in her 5 sports. She'll be back for her senior year in the fall, so congratulations to Dday of Colfax High School, Auburn Journal's Girl Athlete of the Year. Congratulations to you. We'll be back with meteorologist Tim Root and your KAHI weather right after this.
Turn that bill down by changing your rate. Matching your electric usage to
I think I'm going to get
then save
the second Pioneer done.
/rate analysis.
Timmy, you're going to be up here in a minute.
Take the high out of your electricity bill. Check your rate plan today. This money-saving tip.
Brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy.
For Thursday morning, the excessive heat warning will continue today. Blazing sunshine, temperatures around 98. It looks like a southwest wind about 10, 12 miles per hour. Mid-60s overnight, mostly clear, light winds expected. Just a little bit cooler Friday, mostly sunny around 92, 93, light south winds. And a little bit cooler for the weekend, mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, highs about 85 to 90. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI news. We're going to have your California Ag Report and another event for the calendar. Do you like bluegrass? Well, if you do, we got a bluegrass festival coming up here around Father's Day, June 13th through the 16th. I'll let you know what that's all about, where it's happening, all that good stuff. Off to America's First News. Again, I will see you back here in just a little bit. Okay, let's get some bluegrass. Yeehaw! Let's see, bluegrass. Oops. Bluegrass essentials. What did I do yesterday? Bluegrass, various artists. Yeah, Brother, Where Art Thou is what I was originally thinking. Various artists. Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Gotta have Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Perfect.
We
All right, 0051 Pioneer Community Energy.
What appeared to be ISIS insignia, but we are conducting a full investigation with the Lebanese.
Communications 0051 Pioneer Community Energy, because I didn't play that one because I went long. I talked too much sports ball, because you know me, love talking sports ball. All right. 0051.
Senate Republicans blocked legislation designed to protect women's access to contraception, arguing
Remove
Wednesday
that.
the bill was a
Go to the
political
top.
stunt as Democrats mount an election year effort to put
There we
jail
go.
senators on the record on reproductive
Got it.
rights.
Back
The
in.
only part is the cross-party line is avoiding Democrats and legislation for women. Of Alaska.
Every senator must take a stand.
All right.
If you agree all Americans deserve access to contraception,
Off to practice the
then vote
news.
yes on the Right to Contraception Act. This bill simply says that if you want to access birth control, or if you're a healthcare provider wanting to prescribe birth control, the government has no right to interfere. This is not a showboat.
It's a show us who you are.
They want to use this as an issue in November to scare people. And they don't want to talk about their own radical record. Instead, they want to falsely claim somebody is coming to take contraception. That is deliberately false.
Justice Clarence Thomas, in a concurring opinion to the Supreme Court decisions that overturned Roe v. Wade, said the court should reconsider some of its previous decisions, including the one that assured legal access to birth control. And former President Donald Trump said he was working on a plan to do just that, only to flip-flop on the issue hours later. 17 years after she was accused of killing her British roommate, Amanda Knox was back in an Italian court Wednesday, this time to hear the outcome of a slander charge that has stuck long after she was exonerated of the murder. Knox, now a mother of two, was reconvicted of slander Wednesday for wrongly accusing Patrick Lumumba of the 2007 murder of Meredith Kircher.
So we are very surprised of the outcome of the decision. We need to read carefully the motivation, which will be available in the next 60 days. Amanda is very upset, and from the outcome of this the hearing, she was looking to have a final point of all this 17 years now judicial procedure. So at the moment, she's very upset.
During her first trial, Knox said police pressure led her to initially accuse Lumumba, a statement she repeated Wednesday before the Florence Appeals Court. The conviction and 3-year sentence remained until the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Knox's rights had been violated during questioning without an attorney or qualified translator. Based on that ruling, Italy's highest court threw out the conviction last November and ruled the two statements typed by police were inadmissible. It ordered a new trial, stipulating the court examine only Knox's handwritten statement for elements to support slander. But despite that murder conviction against the man whose DNA and footprints were found at the scene in the 2015 High Court verdict definitively clearing Knox and her boyfriend, doubt about her role has persisted. That is especially true in Italy among members of Kircher's family and or Patrick Lumumba. Turning to sports this morning, and Joey Estes took a perfect game into the 7th inning. Mason Miller had a 5-out save, and the Oakland A's beat the Mariners 2-1. The A's, who have dropped 3 straight series, can snap the skid with a victory today. The Mariners had won 8 of their last 9. Carlos Rodon mowed down the first 16 batters and won a career-best 6th straight start Wednesday. The Yankees beat the Minnesota Twins 9-5, making it 7 in a row for the Yankees. And Nick Pivetta combined with 2 relievers for 1 hit shutout ball, and Rafael Devers hit 2 homers and drove in 3 runs as the Boston Red Sox beat the Braves 9-0.
Watch that one to left field, well hit. It's up there, and gone. He's going to drive this one high to left field, backing up his Keller, turning around. He has done it again. Left into the monster season, a monster day. His 2nd home run this afternoon.
Devers hit a solo shot in the 2nd inning and a 2-run shot in the 7th for the 17th game of his career and first since July 14th of 2023 against the Cubs. He has 13 homers this season. On the hardwood, Asia Wilson had 36 points, 14 boards, and 6 steals, helping the Las Vegas Aces beat the Dallas Wings 95-81. She became the first player in WNBA history to have at least 35 points, 10 boards, and 5 steals in a game. She scored 12 of her team's opening 20 points. Hayes made her first basket in a Las Vegas uniform to build a 22-6 lead. And Nafisa Collier had 25 points and 5 boards as Minnesota eased by LA. Coach Cheryl Reeves' 307th regular season victory, moving her past Bill Lambier for 2nd on the list. For the Boston Celtics host the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals tonight. Boston went 2-0 against Dallas during the regular season. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving see it as their first opportunity to make good on a partnership that began late last season after Irving was traded from Brooklyn following a tumultuous run of 2+ seasons with the Nets. Irving won his lone championship with Cleveland in 2016 and has played with 3 teams over the past 8 years. His time in Dallas has reinvigorated him.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fleeting feeling. Just to be real with you, there's so many peers of mine that have spent the long years in the NBA trying to make it to the NBA Finals, trying to Eastern Conference Finals, and have gotten very close or have almost struggled or tried every single year to get back. And I had the chance to do it in my 4th year, my 5th year, my 6th year. And when I look back at those memories, I'm never regretful of how I treated, but a little disappointed just on how I approached just that success. And I wanted to be able to enjoy it, take a breather, really take in the moment. the middle of a 76-year history. You know, I'm in the middle of a 76-year history now, but then we were in years of history. The NBA is very young still as a business. So when you're ascending to this level and you're putting a lot of hard work, you beat some of the best in the world, you're playing with some of the best in the world. You know, I think at that point I just looked at it as, oh, I'm going to be here every single year. And now that I'm at this age, I've been through what I've been through and been able to come out on the other side. You know, I look at it as an opportunity that I don't want to take for granted, and I want it to last as long as possible emotionally.
Boston's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the Celtics' most tenured and scrutinized stars on the team, see it as a chance of redemption after falling just short 2 seasons ago and then failing to return last year. Tatum on the chase for a ring.
I hate that I had to go through it. I wish we would have won. But, you know, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. There's a lesson to be learned in every situation. And I do feel a lot different this go around 2 years later. I'm excited for the opportunity for us to get the job done.
Should be a good one over the last 10 games. The Celtics are averaging 113.8 points a game while allowing 104.1. The Mavericks are averaging 109.8 points per game while allowing 104.7. And Oklahoma needs just one more victory to make softball history. Tiare Jennings' 2-run homer in the first inning sparked an 8-3 victory over Texas Wednesday night that left the Sooners 1 win short of a record 4th straight Women's College World Series title. Oklahoma had 9 hits and 3 home runs against the Texas team that had thrown 3 one-hit shutouts in 3 World Series games. Now the Sooners will try to close it out against the Texas team that has rallied before. The Longhorns lost that first game to Oklahoma and won the last 2. They also lost the first 5 of their Super Regional against Texas A&M and then won the next 2 and advanced to the World Series. More on the way on this Thursday morning. You've got America's First News.
America's First News will be right back.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials giving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community.
Woo!
Today, request your free support. Your local
Almost
police.
missed this one.
Dial 800. That's 800 GBS USA. Request your free support your local police info packet by calling 800 GBS USA 1 today.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is Thursday, June 6th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently 69 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 94 degrees. And speaking of Grass Valley, let's talk about a little Foggy Mountain breakdown here and a little Bluegrass Festival. We've got the Bluegrass Festival, the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival, happening June 13th through the 16th. The California Bluegrass Association is putting this on. It's the 49th annual. It's going to be at the Nevada County Fairgrounds. You can check all that out. That's going to be in Grass Valley. You can check it out at fathersdayfestival.com. Again, it's fathersdayfestival.com. Now, there's a lot going on. It's going to be over 3 days there. It's the California Bluegrass Annual Association, the 49th annual Father's Day Bluegrass Festival. It's adding a pair of special shows to keep the music going after Friday and Saturday's main stage performances. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be for children, family, community. It's going to be in Grass Valley there. You can camp over the 3 days. Now, tickets are going to be vary from, I think, $25 to higher to $215. But that, if you're going to be camping there amongst the trees, you can absolutely do that. You can find out more at fathersdayfestival.com. Again, that is fathersdayfestival.com. It's going to be at the Nevada County Fairgrounds in Grass Valley. It's the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival, June 13th through the 16th. This month here, coming up really quick at the Nevada County Fairgrounds, fathersdayfestival.com, the Bluegrass Festival. Check it out. Back with more after this. Aedes time. And here's your KAHI News for this Thursday, June 6th. I'm Chris Quant. Roseville neighborhood being treated for invasive mosquitoes. This is from Fox 40 News. The Placer Mosquito and Vector Control District will begin treating for larval and adult mosquitoes in Roseville after the invasive Aedes aegypti was detected in the city on Friday. Treatments will begin on Thursday in a Foothills Junction neighborhood, take place from 2:15 a.m. to 6 a.m. Placer Vector Control District will use a truck-based larvicide and adulticide in order to limit the spread of the yellow fever-carrying mosquito. Quote, larval treatments use an EPA-registered biorational mosquito larvicide applied by a truck-mounted blower in an effort to treat any containers or other sources of standing water and prevent the emergence of adult invasive mosquitoes, unquote, the Vector Control District wrote in a news release. Quote, in addition, an EPA-registered mosquito adulticide will be applied in an ultra-low volume fog by truck to target adult mosquitoes, unquote. The spray area will be west of Foothills Boulevard, west of Country Club Drive, north of Junction Boulevard, and south of Fleming Drive. PG&E conducting helicopter PSPS drills over Northern California. This is from Fox 40 News. Those living in El Dorado, Placer, and Yuba counties may have seen low-flying helicopters on Wednesday. It's part of Pacific Gas and Electric's efforts to reduce the impacts of public safety power shutoffs, according to the public utility. 2 helicopters were flying as low as 250 feet and possibly lower near power lines to inspect lines for damage or hazards. Ground crews accompanied the helicopters. In El Dorado County, helicopters flew around Diamond Springs, and in Placer County near Weimar. Yuba County residents might have seen them near Dobbins, Oregon House, and near Marysville Road and Bullard's Bar Reservoir. If the helicopters do spot any concerning areas along the power lines, they will report them to the ground crews immediately for it to be addressed. Quote, the practice patrols improve safety, help us execute patrols more efficiently, and will provide key information to determine service restoration timing, all to reduce the impact on our customers during an actual PSPS, unquote, Vice President of PG&E's North Valley and Sierra Region, Joe Wilson, said. Public safety power shutoffs are initiated when high winds threaten to have tree branches or other debris damage energized equipment that may lead to the ignition of a wildfire. Back with more news after this.
You can see them at night. Today they steal from you. Any device with a visual display, moonlight, or sleep mode steals energy. They may only steal a little bit, but like drops of water in a bucket, it adds up and you pay. Stop energy theft.
Triumvirate, meaning a group or association of 3. Triumvirate. Multi-billion-dollar trial over NFL's Sunday Ticket kicks off. The trial is an antitrust suit filed by fans over the NFL's Sunday Ticket package for watching out-of-market games that aren't part of local broadcasts on Sunday afternoons. The trial in an antitrust suit filed by fans over the NFL's Sunday Ticket package for watching out-of-market games that aren't part of local broadcasts on Sunday afternoons began in a Los Angeles courtroom yesterday, 9 years after the case was filed. The suit claims that the NFL teams conspired.
So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the KAHI Corral Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew, multi-billion-dollar trial over NFL's Sunday ticket kicks off. The trial is an antitrust suit filed by fans over the NFL's Sunday ticket package for watching out-of-market games that aren't part of local broadcasts on Sunday afternoons. Began in a Los Angeles courtroom yesterday, 9 years after the case was filed. The suit claims that NFL teams conspired with DirecTV to keep the price high. The NFL argues its broadcasting deals are exempt from antitrust rules under federal law. If a jury agrees that the league's actions were out of bounds, the NFL could face as much as $21 billion in damages, according to the Wall Street Journal. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. eBay said it would stop accepting American Express, saying the fees are too high and consumers have other options. An appeals court paused the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump while it considers whether DA Fani Willis should be allowed to remain on the case. Hunter Biden probably had an awkward day in court as his exes testified about his drug use in his federal gun charge trial. Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would guarantee access to contraception nationwide. A deadly heat dome is hovering over California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and South Texas. Hanes Brands agreed to sell Champion to Authentic Brands Group in a deal that could be worth up to $1.5 billion. Amanda Knox was reconvicted of slander by an Italian court for making a false accusation while being questioned about the murder of her roommate, Meredith Kirchner, whose slaying Knox was convicted of before being acquitted on appeal. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is triumvirate, meaning a group or association of three. And that's your KAHI news for this Thursday, June 6th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
Today, I am the Ag Information Network. In California, over 3 million households face food insecurity.
Kircher.
In honor of June as National
Meredith Kircher.
The California Milk Advisory Board, or CMAB, has announced a partnership.
Yeah, we'll do a second swing at that.
Families program to deliver milk and dairy foods to nourish families in need.
Okay.
Throughout the month of June, California dairy families through the CMAB will match customer in-store
That
and
one.
online food for families donations.
Got that one.
$1 per dollar, up to $30,000 to provide California dairy products to feeding programs. California Agriculture Secretary Karen Ross shared that despite California's leading position worldwide in food production, far too many people here are food insecure, and we must change that. Maureen Lemos, who with her husband dairies in the Waterford area, says that as a California dairy farmer, it's important that all families have access to milk, one of the most nutritious foods available, adding that this partnership
butterfly in the sky. I can go twice.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force. You are about
basket crops, but versus insecticide from BASF makes all visible residues
There you go.
disappear thanks to a unique, single, and targeted mode of action. Let's get the aphids' response to this simple solution. Taking calls now to hear from those unhappy aphids. Hello?
Hello? Anyone?
Making aphids disappear from leafy vegetable, coal, or
Anyone?
basket crops is easy with versus insecticide. Always read and follow label directions. Farmers and farm enthusiasts, get ready for a free in-person event coming to Fresno State's Wet Center this Friday. Co-hosted by the California Air Resources Board, CalSTART, and Fresno State, the Future of Food Tour is a one-day zero-emissions vehicle and clean off-road equipment showcase that brings ag industry leaders together to discuss state programs and incentive funding opportunities that help farms accelerate sustainable farming efforts. To register, go to californiacorps.org. See you soon.
on the Ag Information Network.
I am a ship.
So, first day of school, last day of your lives.
Oh, why are we playing this one?
Today is the day.
Oh.
The day my massacre begins.
I want to go down as the best school shooter in history. These are all real threats made by school shooters, but everyone thought they were joking. Sandy Hook Promise reminds you to always take threats of violence seriously. Learn the warning signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of California has
Often referred to as D-Day, it was one of the largest seaborne invasions in history, a liberation mission for France and later Western Europe. The operation began on Tuesday, June 6, 1944, when Allied forces invaded Nazi Germany occupied lands with over 150,000 troops. Operation Neptune, including D-Day, involved huge naval forces, including 6,939 vessels, 1,213 naval combat ships, 4,126 landing ships, and landing ships and landing craft, and 736 ancillary craft, and 864 merchant vessels. The invasion force consisted mainly of British.
BigMountainAir.com. Catch Sinatra and Friends Saturdays and Sundays right here, 104.5 FM, AM 950 KAHI. Frank and his friends, Sandy, Dean, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard, Rancho Cordova, right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt.
America's first news, clear news, weather, traffic, and Chris in the morning. Here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early. 1 minute to the top of the hour, 6:59 a.m. Gang, that is 1 hour down. A couple more to go here. June 6th, D-Day, we'll be talking about that. Have some memories from being on the actual beaches there. Later on in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have 3 headlines and a lie. That's right. 3 headlines are completely true, no matter how fake they seem to be. 1 is an actual lie. We'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour. Also, daily dad jokes make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. Pausing now for station identification.
AM 950 KAHI.
The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight back. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumph of 1940-41. The United Nations has inflicted upon the Germans great defeat in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
Thursday, June 6, 2024, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. That was Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied forces there. His speech to the troops before they took off for what would be the invasion of Europe, as the Normandy landings were historically the historic landing of the operations that happened in World War II on this day 80 years ago, codenamed Operation Neptune and often referred to as D-Day. It was one of the largest seaborne invasions in history, a liberation mission for France and later Western Europe. The operation began on a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday, June 6, 1944, when Allied forces invaded Nazi Germany occupied lands with over 150,000 troops. Operation Neptune, including D-Day, involved a huge naval force, including 6,939 vessels, 1,213 naval combat ships, 4,126 landing ships and landing craft, 736 ancillary craft, and 864 merchant vessels. The invasion force consisted mainly of British, Canadian, and American soldiers tasked with opening up routes through some of the heavily defended areas along the French coast towards major port cities such as Cherbourg, and not without many, many challenges. Recently, Steven Spielberg, if you've seen the movies, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks had produced such epic series like Band of Brothers and The Pacific, and most recently Masters of the Air. That one's particularly close to me, as my grandfather, my dad's dad, was in the 8th Air Force as a communications officer over in England, and would talk to those crews, the crews that would go on those bombing missions. He was the one that would be one of the guys standing there in front of the chart telling them what their mission was going to be, and not fully understanding. I remember my grandfather, he passed away when I was pretty young, when I was about 10 years old. And I would remember him standing and staring out of the kitchen window for long, long stretches at a time. And didn't fully understand as a kid what that was all about, but I can only imagine there was probably a lot that, especially watching this Masters of the Air series now that's out on Apple TV Plus. If you've got that streaming platform, it's definitely well worth the watch. Documenting and tracking the guys through it's called the Bloody 100th, that squadron there, as part of the 8th Air Force. I think squadron is the right term, of guys that basically the heavy losses that group took and suffered as they did nighttime or the daytime air raids over France and Germany. And just a really interesting story there to track. So many stories, some famous ones now that we'll know more about. The Bloody 100th. We know about the E Company and the 101st Airborne Division there, Band of Brothers. Also the guys that served, the Marines that served over in the Pacific there. But so many stories that were either left untold by veterans who just couldn't bring themselves to tell them to their friends and family, or that were just told and were just kept as locally to the family. But we honor those that went ahead of us, and as you hear many veterans talk, and there's less and less of them every day now, you know that you'll hear them say that the true heroes are the ones that didn't come back. And it's definitely interesting to think about and commemorate what's 80 years ago. Seems to be so long, yet I'm sure for many, maybe just seems to be the other day. Right now, it's a lot of commemoration is going on over in Normandy right now, and it could be the last major commemoration that involves World War II veterans, people who were 20 years old when the Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6th, are now 100 years old. And from the Morning Brew, given the gravitas of this year's anniversary, organizers are giving it a last hurrah feel, holding concerts, parachute drops, ceremonies, and parades that will be the biggest D-Day commemoration in history. Fewer than 200 World War II veterans have traveled to France, supported by aides, to take it all in one final time. President Biden is one of roughly 25 world leaders who will be in Normandy to mark the occasion. So a lot going over there, again, as we commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Had a chance to go over there when I was in my early 20s. So just out of high school, I was going to Sierra College at the time, and had an opportunity to go with a few friends over to France for about a month. And it was one of those trips of a lifetime thing. And one of the things that we did was, and this is one thing that I had really asked for, kind of really wanted to do, is said, yeah, Paris is good and we can go and see all the museums, and it was definitely worth it, and go see the Eiffel Tower, and you got to hit all the spots there. But one thing that we did is we rented a car. Now, gracious sakes alive, driving in Paris, woo, you got to have nerves of steel to do that. I did not do that. Our friend, My friend Dave did that. He was behind the wheel, and boy, was that a quick lesson in some crazy driving. But once we got outside of Paris and went into the French countryside as we drove north to the Normandy coast, wow, was that a beautiful drive. That is probably one of my most favorite drives I've taken in my life, is going north from Paris through the French countryside there and heading up to the Normandy coast, and had a chance to spend a few days in Normandy. We went to over to Brittany to Mont Saint Michel. Mont Saint Michel. Yeah. Anyway, it's there. It's a monastery there, basically on top of a hill, and then we hit the Normandy beaches. And very, very vivid memories. Took a lot of pictures. Kids, that was back when you had to put film in a camera. You had to actually have film rolls. So I had a lot of film canisters, those little plastic canisters that your film came in that you would then load into. Probably anybody under 35 has no idea what I'm talking about. But those film canisters that would come in, and you would have those, and you would put that in. And so I remember going on Omaha Beach there and walking there and scooping up some sand and keeping that in my film canister. And I said, what the heck, I'm going to go to the English Channel there, and got a little bit of the water in my film canister as well, and had brought those back to me. And it was very interesting as an American going over there and knowing the history. And you go to the American cemetery there on Omaha Beach, and it's very somber and very subdued, and there are signs all around posted to say, asking folks to be quiet in respect of all of the fallen soldiers that are buried there. And you just go upon rows and rows and rows of these white crosses or stars of David, or there's a marker there for remains that could not be identified. And you really do realize the sacrifice that was made, the importance of the day. And it's right on the bluff there overlooking Omaha Beach. And as we walked there one day, going down Omaha, and I think Utah, we went to Omaha and Utah Beach. So we went to the American beaches there. And it was in the summer, and it was a beach. There were folks out there enjoying the sun and playing in the surf, and with their beach balls and lawn chairs out there, their beach chairs out there. And part of you is, as somebody that sees this, and you're thinking about the gravity of the situation, you're like, wait a minute, this is hallowed ground, this is sacred ground. But then quickly think about, well, no, this is exactly what that day was all about, so that people would have the liberty and they would have the freedom to move about freely and to enjoy life the way that they were enjoying it that day. So really am grateful and thankful for the times that I got to spend over there, to see that, to see some of it firsthand, to see some of those beaches. There was a museum right on Utah Beach there where they had different weapons used on that day. They had one thing I'll never forget. It was a Luger pistol. You know, the Germans had those Luger pistols. It was a Luger pistol, but the clip that went in the pistol was that like the round clip, like on a Tommy gun. Now, obviously, it was smaller to fit a pistol, but it was one of those round clips, like a Tommy gun clip. And I thought, my goodness gracious, you don't see that in the movies. And so it was very interesting to go through there and see all the paratroopers. Of course, a lot of tributes to the paratroopers who came in and landed early in the morning behind enemy lines there to start securing those causeways for the troops that were going to land a little bit later. So I'll never forget it. I'm always grateful for the chance to go over there and see a lot of what happened during that day. At least see, walk some of the grounds and see some of the remnants of what happened on that day. So 80th anniversary today, June 6th. Today, 2024, happened in 1944. Hey, we need to find out what our weather is looking like today. For that, we're going to turn it over to meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking for our weather today?
Excessive heat warning will continue today. Blazing sunshine, temperatures around 98. It looks like a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mid-60s overnight, mostly clear, light winds expected. Just a little bit cooler Friday, mostly sunny around 92, 93, light south wind. Again, mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, highs about 80. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
11 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:11 a.m. I'm going to take a quick break here. And coming back, when we come back, a quick story about some interesting things that the Japanese government is doing to encourage folks to come on, let's get together. Back with more right after this.
Here's another KAHI community bulletin. Are you looking for a meaningful way to give back to your community? Child advocates at Placer County 20 special advocates, adult youth mentors, and family mentors. These Placer County volunteers are specifically trained to serve at-risk children and parents. CASA and Placer Mentor volunteers help foster youth, at-risk youth, and young adults build resiliency, self-confidence, and self-sufficiency. They help them attain academic achievement and avoid the juvenile justice system, teen pregnancy, and drug and alcohol use. The goal of Child Advocates of Placer County is to see our youth make better life choices, succeed in and become happy, stable, and volunteer.
12 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:12 a.m. From the Morning Brew. Interesting thing going on over in Japan. Here we go. It's bad enough when your mom asks why you're not married and tries to set you up. But if you live in Tokyo, the government will also be soon trying to find you someone to have babies with. The city's leaders are debuting their own dating app after learning that 70% of people who want to get married aren't attending events or joining apps to meet a partner. Quote, we want to give them a gentle push to find one, unquote, the official in charge of the top of the app told agency France Press. Users will have to prove they're legally single and willing to marry, plus provide proof of their income. It's all part of a response to Japan's declining birth rate. Japan had more than twice as many deaths as births last year. So Japan trying to figure out a way to get people together. Apparently need some more babies. Need some more youngins in Japan launching their own official dating app. So one way or the other. Let me put on a little Marvin Gaye, light some candles. We'll see what happens there. It is 14 minutes past the hour, 7:14 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here on this D-Day, June 6th, holding it down in beautiful Studio A. Gang, it is going to be a warm one out there. If you missed weather from meteorologist Tim Root, we'll have that again here a little bit later on. But hey, right now, during this time of the day, we turn it over now to the Fox Business Report.
Business Report. More people filed for unemployment benefits last week. The number of new claims rose by 8,000 to 229,000. Also, continuing claims, those remaining on benefits, rose by 2,000 to 1.79 million in the latest reading. The update, along with the job openings and labor turnover report for the end of April and the ADP report on jobs created by private employers, suggest the labor market is cooling. Tomorrow's monthly employment report is expected to be a major factor in whether and when the Fed lowers interest rates. The European Central Bank lowered its key interest rate by 0.25 percentage point today. The Bank of Canada cut rates by 0.25% yesterday. NVIDIA shares continued to climb after its record close yesterday. That's your Fox Business. I'm Jim Silva, invested in you.
Success. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel, it's where success meets success. Start your journey at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Stifel Nicholas and
No
Company
young person
Incorporated,
should ever
members
have to worry
IPC,
about having
and
a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
The reality is 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:16 a.m. Hey, here's an event for the calendar. Party in the Park. It's happening Friday, June 21st from 5 to 7 p.m. It's at Regional Park in Auburn. That's at 3770 Richardson Drive. The annual event is the official summer kickoff for the Sierra Foothills and takes place on Friday, June 21st, 2024 at Regional Park. They're going to bring the sounds and fun of some of the best recording and performing musicians around, from banjos to screaming guitar licks. These bands will bring it. In addition to the music, there's going to be a huge beer garden and food area with everything from pizza to veggie wraps, snow cones to margaritas, and more. The party includes some of the best fun for kids around. There's going to be face painting, balloon twisters, and the biggest collection of inflatables in Northern California. Really? That's a big claim there. There we go. There are small fees for these, but they'll keep it affordable and fun. Of course, the park setting leads to its own fun as well. The event starts at 5 p.m. and live music begins at 6 p.m. You can find out more at auburnrec.com/events. Again, that's auburnrec.com/events. Party in the park. That's happening Friday, June 21st from 5 to 7 p.m. Back with more after this.
Sure, you don't have to battle for parking. Parking is very close to the front door. And you don't need a membership card to get inside to do your shopping. McCullough, Auburn's department store, has everything you need right now for the warmer weather: shorts, t-shirts, Levi's, those hand-free slip-on sneakers, and much more, all on sale. So save money, time, and gas by shopping at McCullough in the Auburn Town Center right off the bell.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you doing Sunday?
What are you doing Sunday, baby?
Well, music and high talk. Hey, if you have something to sell, or if you're looking for something, maybe you have a yard sale, or perhaps you have a freebie you want to give away. You can give me a call and we can chat about it live on the air.
Oh, what do you say now? 'Cause it's a nice day now. What are you doing Sunday, baby? 19 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:19 a.m. Coming up on our next segment, it's your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com. Back to America's First News. I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
America's First News continues. Begin in Washington, National House Speaker Mike Johnson Wednesday appointed two far-right.
Okay, here we go. Oh, good morning. Hello. Dad joke. Why does ice cream always get invited to the party? It's cool. Why did the robot go on vacation? He needed to recharge his batteries. Ew. Where do math teachers go on vacation? Times Square. Why did the teacher jump into the pool? She wanted to test the water. What kind of water cannot freeze? Hot water. Happy Radio Day. It is Radio Day. Happy Radio Day. What part of a fish weighs the most? The scales. Ayo. What kind of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. Summer jokes. Oh, these are summer jokes. Okay. Why did the cantaloupe jump into the pool? It wanted to become a watermelon. It wanted to become a watermelon. Get it? Let's see. I think I snagged a joke. Sometimes I like to tuck my head and legs into my chest. It's just how I roll. My dad was bragging about his new hearing aid. State of the art, he said. It cost me a fortune. I asked, awesome, what type is it? He said, 230. That's going into the dad joke channel.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries condemned the Republicans' plans that started investigations of the prosecution.
Dad jokes.
He is also charged with election interference in Georgia, as well as federal charges related to allegations of mishandling classified documents and looking to overturn his election laws.
Let me speak to the general issue as it relates to the effort to create a political advantage for the extreme MAGA Republicans by trying to raise this issue of so-called weaponization. They have a select committee on weaponization. It has been a complete and spectacular failure.
All right, let's send that in.
Any of us on the Democratic side, that based on the fact that the former president who went through a judicial process just like any other American.
Send
And at
receipt.
the end of that process, 5 weeks,
Yep.
you had 12 jurors come to a unanimous
Like that photo.
that the former president was guilty of 34 felonies, and that somehow is indication of weaponization. Well, that was a state prosecution that had nothing to do with President Biden or the Department of Justice.
Candidates, office holders, and members of Trump's family have amplified his calls for retribution against political enemies.
My wife called me to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me.
Charges against 2 attorneys and an aide who helped submit paperwork falsely saying former President Trump won the battleground states in 2020. The charges stem from a fake elector scheme that are first to come in Wisconsin.
Good job, Stephanie. Right in the nick of time.
Michigan, Nevada, and Georgia. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call did not against the 10 fake electors, saying the investigation.
Dade County Circuit Court charging 3 defendants with an alleged conspiracy to have electors who were not duly appointed presidential electors meet and cast votes in Wisconsin in December 2020 and transmit a so-called certificate of the votes of the 2020 electors from Wisconsin that in part referred to these electors as the duly elected and qualified electors for president.
My wife called to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me.
Of these unappointed electors for president and vice president. Specifically, the complaint charges
Where do math teachers?
Michael A. Roman,
Why don't mummies go on summer vacation? They're afraid to relax and unwind. What does a bee do when it's hot? He takes off his yellow jacket. He takes off his yellow jacket. What did the air conditioning say to the man? I'm your biggest fan. Ew.
Prosecutors investigating his conduct related to the January 6, 2021 Capitol have also said this.
All right, there we go. We got dad jokes. We got jokes.
Antonio Guterres called Wednesday for a windfall tax on profits of fossil fuel companies to help pay for the fight against global warming, calling them the godfathers of climate chaos. He spoke in a bid to revive the world's focus on climate change at a time when elections, inflation, and conflict in places like Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan have stolen the spotlight.
It's time to put an effective price on carbon and tax the windfall profits of fossil fuel companies. And by COP29, we need early movers to go from exploring to implementing solidarity levies on sections such as shipping, aviation, and fossil fuel extraction to help fund climate action. The cost of all this chaos is hitting people where it hurts. From supply chains severe to rising prices, mounting food insecurity, and uninsurable homes and businesses. Meanwhile, the godfathers of climate chaos, the fossil fuel industry, rake in record profits and fist off trillions in taxpayer-funded subsidies.
Guterres said global emissions of carbon dioxide must fall 9% each year to 2030, or the 1.5 degrees Celsius target under the Paris Climate Accords. The World Meteorological Organization's co-Barrett told a news conference in Geneva that the global mean near surface temperature for each year from 2024 to 2028 is expected to range between 1.1 and 1.9 degrees hotter than at the start of the industrial era.
There is a nearly 9 in 10 likelihood that at least 1 year between 2024 and 2028 will be the hottest on record, even hotter than 2023, which smashed all temperature records. And this report makes it clear that we are on a record-breaking warming path.
All right.
It's expected to
Checking in with the old work messages.
There's an 80% with the annual average.
Am I missing anything major? Probably not. All right. Off now to edit the news.
Industrial levels for at least one of the next 5 calendar years. Back in 2015, the chance was close to 0. Beyond the predictions and statistics is the stark reality that we risk trillions of dollars in economic losses, millions of lives upended, and destruction of fragile and precious ecosystems and the biodiversity that exists there. What is clear is that the Paris Agreement target of 1.5 degrees C is hanging on a thread.
A study released Tuesday by 57 scientists said that as the world keeps burning fossil fuels, Earth is likely to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit in 4.5 years. Now, the European Central Bank plans to move ahead of the Fed Reserve today and cut interest rates, making the Eurozone the biggest rich world economy to begin easing borrowing costs for businesses and consumers. And the inflation that arose after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine slowly recedes. ECB President Christine Lagarde and other officials have made it clear that a quarter-point rate cut from the current record high of 4% is more than likely. Such a move would represent a switch from the onset of the inflation surge, when the Fed took the lead in tightening credit by raising rates. Beginning in March of 2022, the ECB started about 4 months later. Here at home, the Fed Reserve faces a different economy, one in which government stimulus and pandemic recovery spending and more robust growth fueled inflation. The U.S. Consumer Price Index is at an annual 3.4%, far from the Fed's 2% target. More on the way on this Thursday morning. You can always reach out to me on social media. I'm at Matt Ray Talk. You've got America's First News.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton, like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can say. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is Thursday, June 6th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, it is 75 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 97 degrees. All right, it is that time. It is time for your daily dad jokes. That's right. Time to laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes as we get started here. We're going to go ahead and go to the inbox. We've got one from Stephanie M. Stephanie sent this one in. Thanks for sending that in, Stephanie. My wife called to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me. A little late on the rim shot there, producer Adam. All right. My wife called to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on the way to work. Yeah, she hung up on me. There we go. We're a little stronger on the rim shot there. All right, here we go. We've got another one here. My dad was bragging about his new hearing aid. State of the art, he said. It cost me a fortune. I asked, awesome. What type is it? He said, 230. That's pretty good. Let's do that again. My dad was bragging about his new hearing aid. State of the art, he said. It cost me a fortune. I asked, awesome. What type is it? He said, 230. Tell that one around the dinner table today. And we've got a few here, just little extras here for your summer beat the heat type dad jokes as we're getting ready for summer. Here we go. What type of, or why does ice cream always get invited to the party? Because it's cool. There we go. What kind of water cannot freeze? Hot water. Really? That got an applause? Really? Oh, I thought that was kind of cheesy. All right, here we go. Where do math teachers like to go on vacation? Times Square. All right, and those have been your daily dad jokes, good, bad, or indifferent, for this Thursday, June 6th. You can send me yours at live@kahi.com or call me 530-885-3565. Back with more right after this. All right, Timmy, you're up.
Good morning. The excessive heat warning will continue today. Blazing sunshine, temperatures around 98, and looks like a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mid-60s overnight, mostly clear, light winds expected. Just a little Friday, mostly sunny around 92, 93, light south winds. A little bit cooler for the weekend. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday. Highs about 85 to 90. This is New York September from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you. 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:34 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI news. We'll have all that good stuff. We're going to do 3 headlines and a lie. 3 headlines are completely real. 1 is made up. We'll do that coming up in our next segment. Back now to America's First News. Okay.
Soldiers after a Wednesday morning shootout that injured an embassy security guard. It took place as tension simmered in the tiny Mediterranean country.
All right, here we go. Back to editing the news.
Along the border, following years of political deadlock and economic hardship. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller.
So the other day there was a shooting incident outside of our embassy in Beirut. One member of the embassy's local guard force was seriously injured. The gunman was arrested after the incident. The U.S. Embassy remains in contact with the Lebanese authorities as they investigate the incident. In terms of embassy security, the embassy was secured immediately. We achieved full accountability of all official U.S. citizens and locally employed staff. And the embassy closed today following the incident, but plans to be open for business as usual tomorrow.
Okay. Do you have any idea about who did it? Relying entirely on the Lebanese?
So the DSS is coordinating with the Lebanese to answer that question. We are aware that the individual who was arrested was wearing what appeared to be ISIS insignia, but we are conducting a full investigation with the Lebanese authorities into the actual motivations.
A Lebanese security official and 2 judicial officials familiar with the case said the gunman appeared to be a lone attacker. They identified him as a resident of the eastern Lebanese border town of Majdal Ajar near Syria. Earlier, the Lebanese military identified the suspect as a Syrian national. Senate Republicans blocked legislation designed to protect women's access to contraception, arguing Wednesday the bill was a political stunt as Democrats mount an election year effort to put GOP senators on the record on reproductive rights. The only Republicans to cross party lines and join Democrats in trying to advance the legislation were women. Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska.
Every senator must take a stand. If you agree all Americans deserve access to contraception, then vote yes on the Right to Contraception Act. This bill simply says that if you want to access birth control, Or if you're a healthcare provider wanting to prescribe birth control, the government has no right to interfere. This is not a show vote. It's a show us who you are vote.
They want to use this as an issue in November to scare people, and they don't want to talk about their own radical record. Instead, they want to falsely claim somebody is coming to take contraception. That is deliberately false.
Justice Clarence Thomas, in a concurring opinion to the Supreme Court decisions that overturned Roe v. Wade, said the court should reconsider some of its previous decisions, including the one that assured legal access to birth control. And former President Donald Trump said he was working on a plan to do just that, only to flip-flop on the issue hours later. 17 years after she was accused of killing her British roommate, Amanda Knox was back in an Italian court Wednesday, this time to hear the outcome of a slander charge that has stuck long after she was exonerated of the murder. Knox, now a mother of two, was reconvicted of slander Wednesday for wrongly accusing Patrick Lumumba of the 2007 murder of Meredith Kircher.
So we are very surprised of the outcome of the decision. We need to read carefully the motivation, which will be available in the next 60 days. Amanda is very upset, and from the outcome of this hearing, she was looking to have a final point of all this 17 years now judicial procedure. So at the moment, she's very upset.
During her first trial, Knox said police pressure led her to initially accuse Lumumba, a statement she repeated Wednesday before the Lawrence Appeals Court. The conviction and 3-year sentence remained until the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Knox's rights had been violated during questioning without an attorney or qualified translator. Based on that ruling, Italy's highest court threw out the conviction last November and ruled the two statements typed by police were inadmissible. It ordered a new trial, stipulating the court examine only Knox's statement for elements to support slander. But despite that murder conviction against a man whose DNA and footprints were found at the scene, the 2015 High Court verdict definitively clearing Knox and her boyfriend, doubt about her role has persisted. That is especially true in Italy among members of Kircher's family and for Patrick Lumumba. Turning to sports this morning, and Joey Estes took a perfect game into the 7th inning. Mason Miller had a 5-out save, and the Oakland A's beat the Mariners 2-1. The A's, who have dropped 3 straight series, can snap the skid with a victory today. The Mariners had won 8 of their last 9. Carlos Rodon mowed down the first 16 batters and won a career-best 6th straight start Wednesday, helping the Yankees beat the Minnesota Twins 9-5, making it 7 in a row for the Yankees. But Nick Pivetta combined with 2 relievers for 1-hit shutout ball, and Rafael Devers hit 2 homers and drove in 3 runs as the Boston Red Sox beat the Braves 9-9.
Watch that one to left field. Well hit. It's up there, and gone. He's going to drive this one high to left field. Backing up. It's Curley turning around. He is turning again. For the monster season, a monster day. His 2nd home run this afternoon.
Devers hit a solo shot in the 2nd inning and a 2-run shot in the 7th for the 17th multi-homer game of his career and first since July 14th of 2023 against the Cubs. He has 13 homers this season. On the hardwood, Asia Wilson had 36 points, 14 boards, and 6 steals, helping the Las Vegas Aces beat the Dallas Wings 95-81. She became the first player in WNBA history to have at least 35 points, 10 boards, and 5 steals in a game. She scored 12 of her team's opening 20 points, and Tiffany Hayes made her first basket in a Las Vegas uniform to build a 22-6 lead. Nafisa Collier had 25 points and 5 boards as Minnesota eased by LA. Coach Cheryl Reeves' 307th regular season victory, moving her past Bill Laimbeer for 2nd on the WNBA list. The Boston Celtics host the Dallas Mavericks to open the NBA Finals tonight. Boston went 2-0 against Dallas during the regular season. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving see it as their first opportunity to make good on a partnership that began late last season after Irving was traded from Brooklyn following a tumultuous run of 2+ seasons with the Nets. Irving won his lone championship with Cleveland in 2016 and has played with 3 teams over the past 8 years. His time in Dallas has reinvigorated.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fleeting feeling. It's the early years. So many peers of mine that have spent the long years in the NBA trying to make it to the NBA Finals, Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, and have gotten very close or have almost struggled or tried every single year to get back. And I had the chance to do it in my 4th year, my 5th year, my 6th year. And when I look back at those memories, never regretful of how I treated, but a little disappointed just on how I accomplished just that success, and I wanted to be able to enjoy it, take a breather, and really taking the moment. You're in the middle of a 76-year history. I'm in the middle of a 76-year history now, but then we were in years of history. The NBA is very young still as a business. So when you ascend to this level and you put in a lot of hard work, you meet some of the best in the world. You're playing with some of the best in the world. I think at that point I just looked at it as, I'm going to be here every single year. And now that I'm at this age, I've been through what I've been through and been able to come out on the other side. I look at it as an opportunity that I don't want to take for granted, and I want it to last as long as possible emotionally.
Boston's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the Celtics' most tenured and scrutinized stars on the team, see it as a chance of redemption after falling just short 2 seasons ago and then failing to return last year. Tatum on the chase for a ring.
I hate that I had to go through it. I wish we would have won. But I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. There's a lesson to be learned in every situation, and I do feel a lot different this go around 2 years later. I'm excited for the opportunity for us to get the job done.
Should be a good one over the last 10 games. The Celtics are averaging 113.8 points a game while allowing 104.1. The Mavericks are averaging 109.8 points per game while allowing 104.7. And Oklahoma needs just one more victory to make softball history. Tiare Jennings' 2-run homer in the first inning sparked an 8-3 victory.
Okay. Here we go.
The Sooners 1 win short of a record 4th straight Women's College World Series title. Oklahoma had 9 hits and 3 home runs against the Texas team that had thrown 3 one-hit shutouts in 3 World Series games. Now the Sooners will try to close it out against the Texas team that has rallied before. The Longhorns lost the first game in the regular
What
season
80s song should we play?
and won the last 2. They also lost the first.
Sure.
America's First News will be right back.
In 2024,
Hi, Dr. Mitch.
celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit.
Oh, it's not Dr.
focused
Mitch.
on
All
heart
right.
and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of
All right, who are we going to shout out?
However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease and its risk factors. Efforts led by the American Heart Association from heart disease by half over the past century and helped people with heart disease longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors. To learn more about the American Heart Association's century of service and how you can help, visit heart.org/help.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion.
Are you now? And good Thursday morning to you. It is Thursday, June 6th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently, it is 75 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high day of 92 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. That's right. We've been talking a little bit about it. And we'll talk from Christy in the Auburn State Theater tomorrow a little bit more about this, but it's Cocktails and Cinema happening Saturday, June 8th from 6 to 10 p.m. It's going to be at the Auburn State Theater at 985 Lincoln Way here in Auburn, number 102. Turn back time. It's a fundraiser street party. Come join us at the Street Party of the Year as we relive the best of the 80s. This event is filled with fun, food, and friends and helps raise the ceiling at the historic Auburn Theater. Sample tasty treats from local restaurateurs and cocktails of the decade while DJ Mark spins your favorite hit songs of the 80s. Maybe he'll play this one, a little Walking on Sunshine. Bonus points if you can name the artist. I had no idea either. Katrina and the Waves, apparently, is the artist of this. Enjoy a fun video look back at the best of the decade by Elliot Anders and more. We invite you to swank it up in your favorite 80s style from your Izod popped collars, you know, the ones with the alligators on it, those polo shirts there, to the aerobics-inspired spandex and big shoulders. There's got to be shoulder pads and the princess dye dresses and pastel suits, sand socks. The 80s had it all. Did it? Well, maybe it did. You can find out more at auburnstatetheater.org. Again, that's auburnstatetheater.org/cocktails-cinema. auburnstatetheater.org/cocktails-cinema. There we go. It's going to be the Cocktails and Cinema Saturday, June 8th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Auburn State Theater, 985 Lincoln Way here in Auburn, number 102. Back with more after this.
Most exciting, entertaining, and sometimes informative radio show on earth. Listen to us live on every Saturday morning, 9 to noon, here on FM 104.5 and AM 950. You can also on KAHI.com and the KAHI app. Remember, that's Radio Law Talk, 9 to noon every Saturday, right here on KAHI, AM and FM, the voice of the football.
And here's your KAHI News for this Thursday, June 6th. I'm Chris Quant. Roseville neighborhood being treated for invasive mosquitoes. This is from Fox 40 News. The Placer Mosquito and Vector Control District will begin treating for larval and adult mosquitoes in Roseville after the invasive Aedes aegypti was detected in the city on Friday. Treatments will begin on Thursday in a Foothills Junction neighborhood and take place from 2:15 a.m. to 6 a.m. Placer Vector Control District will be using a truck-based larvicide and adulticide in order to limit the spread of the yellow fever-carrying mosquito. Quote, larval treatments use an EPA-registered biorational mosquito larvicide applied by a truck-mounted blower in an effort to treat any containers or other sources of standing water and prevent the emergence of adult invasive mosquitoes, unquote, the Vector Control District wrote in a news release. Quote, in addition, an EPA-registered mosquito adulticide will be applied in an ultra-low volume fog by truck to target adult mosquitoes, unquote. The spray area will be west of Foothills Boulevard, west of Country Club Drive, north of Junction Boulevard, and south of Fleming Drive. PG&E conducting helicopter PSPS drills over Northern California. This is also from Fox 40 News. Those living in El Dorado, Placer, and Yuba counties may have seen low-flying helicopters on Wednesday. It's part of Pacific Gas and Electric's efforts to reduce the impacts of public safety power shutoffs, according to the public utility. 2 helicopters were flying as low as 250 feet and possibly lower near power lines to inspect lines for damage or hazards. Ground crews accompanied the helicopters. In El Dorado County, helicopters flew around Diamond Springs and in Placer County near Weimar. Yuba County residents may have seen them near Dobbins, Oregon House, and near Marysville Road and Bullard's Bar Reservoir. If the helicopters do spot any concerning areas along the power lines, they will report them to the ground crews immediately for it to be addressed. Quote, the practice patrols improve safety, help us execute patrols more efficiently, and will provide key information to determine service restoration timing, all to reduce the impact on our customers during an actual PSPS, unquote, Vice President of PG&E's North Valley and Sierra Region, Joe Wilson, said. Public safety power shutoffs are initiated when high winds threaten to have tree branches or other debris damage energized equipment that may lead to the ignition of a wildfire. Back with more news after this.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of California has millions of regulations.
But surprisingly,
almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
Stop, reset.
There's only focus to sell you a new one. That'll never happen with Big Mountain's 2-for-1 rejuvenation of your heating and air system. With our 2 to 3 hour truly comprehensive 2-part service of both your furnace and your air conditioner with a written guarantee against breakdown, or the service will be free all year long. Total cost $78 or save $2,500 on a brand new heating and air system plus an additional $500 rebate. Replace your old R22 system. Details at 916-378-6270 or
Don't
BigMountainAir.com.
miss our Made in the USA sale. Naturewood Home Furnishings has always carried Sacramento's largest selection of American-made furniture, and it's all on sale now. The absolute best living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms,
mattresses, home office, and more. Save in every department. And we're proud to offer so many choices during this special sale. Nature Room. You know, the building with the water wheel. Tell her Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you. Advertise with KAHI Radio, the voice of the foothills, and you'll reach those who matter most. Your local company for your local business. Here's Fred Penny of Penny & Associates to tell you why he uses KAHI Radio.
This is Fred Penny of Penny Associates Injury Lawyers, and I choose to advertise on AM 950 KAHI Radio because it works.
So call our KAHI.
Oh, you're back. Welcome back. Yay. I'm going to go back to the news right now.
Start your local advertising today.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. Multi-billion-dollar trial over NFL's Sunday ticket kicks off. The trial in an antitrust suit filed by fans over the NFL's Sunday ticket package for watching out-of-market games that aren't part of local broadcasts on Sunday afternoons began in a Los Angeles courtroom yesterday, 9 years after the case was filed. The suit claims that NFL teams conspired with DirecTV to keep the price high. The NFL argues its broadcasting deals are exempt from antitrust rules under federal law. If a jury agrees that the league's actions were out of bounds, the NFL could face as much as $21 billion in damages, according to the Wall Street Journal. And Dollar Tree moles selling Family Dollar. Sometimes when your relationship isn't working out, it's best to break up. And that seems to be why Dollar Tree is thinking about selling off Family Dollar, which it acquired in 2015 for almost $9 billion. Yesterday, Dollar Tree said it was thinking about selling the brand off after shuttering hundreds of stores last quarter. Dollar Tree outbid rival Dollar General to snap up Family Dollar, but the chain turned out to be in bad shape, and Dollar Tree has been struggling ever since, while Dollar General has thrived. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. eBay said it would stop accepting American Express, saying the fees are too high and consumers have other options. An appeals court paused the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump while it considers whether DA Fani Willis should be allowed to remain on the case. Hunter Biden probably had an awkward day in court as his exes testified about his drug use in his federal gun charge trial. Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would guarantee access to contraception nationwide. A deadly heat dome is hovering over California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and South Texas. And Hanes Brands agreed to sell Champion to Authentic Brands Group in a deal that could be worth up to $1.5 billion. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is triumvirate, meaning a group or association of three. And that's your KAHI news for this Thursday, June 6th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with three headlines and a lie after this.
This is Ann Hidalgo, your host of Time for Seniors. 6 a.m. on Saturdays, but we moved to 12 noon. The Time for Seniors is your local senior resource show bringing all the important information concerning seniors. We talk health, financials, medical, keep you updated on current scams, hear inspirational stories, and laughs. Did you ever wonder where we get a word like muckety muck? How about the whole kit caboodle? I'm Martha Barnett along with Grant Barrett.
Each week on Away with Words, we try to solve linguistic mysteries.
And we invite you to
All right.
about language.
Three headlines and a lie coming up. Three of these headlines are real. One is faker than the estimated walk time on Apple Maps. Can you spot the odd one out? First one, new Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of a sardine magnate. Two, study says that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic. It's like exhaust from a car. Three, IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roadblocks store. And four, deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary.
You don't have to go to Africa to have a wildlife adventure. The Wildlife Care Association.
All right, there we go.
Adventure, challenge, and satisfaction.
We'll see what happens here.
Group is offering
Which one do you think it is? The deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary. That seems too real. That's probably happened multiple times before.
Get your adventure going.
4 minutes to the top of the hour. It is 7:56 a.m. All right, what we do on Thursdays here, we play this little game called 3 Headlines and a Lie. This is from the Morning Brew. 3 headlines are completely real, no fake in there. One is completely made up. So I'm going to read 3 of them and then the 4th one, and you'll have to guess. I'll read all, not just 3 and then 4. I'll read all 4 of them here. And then you need to guess which one it is. Now, we will pay this off after the top of the hour. I'm going to give you time to think about this here. So let's go ahead and take it here. 3 of these headlines are real, and one is faker than the estimated walk time on Apple Maps. That was good. Can you spot the odd one out? Here's the first one. First headline. New Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of a sardine magnate. Number 2, study says that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic, like exhaust from a car. 3, IKEA, producer Adam, keep the music going. Maybe that's a cool little jazzy tune there. Number 3, IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roblox store. So Roblox is like an online, basically universe. Basically, you go and you can build your own cities. Think like Sims, something like that, where you can just build your own environment. And number 4, deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary. That seems too real. That seems like that's happened before. I feel like that one is completely real. So I'm going to read them again here. 3 of these headlines are real. 1 is fake. Again, here's the headlines. New Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of sardine magnate. 2, studies say that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic. 3, IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roblox store. It's an online store, basically. And 4, deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary. One of those headlines is completely made up. The other 3 are completely real. We'll find out more here in just a little bit.
Some of the food network. I like watching, but it doesn't like, man, I want to eat that now, or I want to learn how to do it. It's not no, I mean, I want to eat it, but I don't want to learn how to do it. Really, Van Camp and weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
30 seconds to the top of the hour, 7:59 a.m. That is 2 hours get down, gang. We just read 3 headlines and a lie. Did you guess which one it was? I'll read them again here at the top of this next hour. Pausing now for station identification. Thursday, June 6th, 2024. Dwight D. Eisenhower there, Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, giving his speech to the troops before they embarked on their D-Day journeys. Many troops landing behind enemy lines. There we go. Not Emily lines. Emily, that's my wife's name. Enemy lines. As made famous in the Band of Brothers miniseries there, written by Stephen Ambrose. Stephen Ambrose, one of my favorite authors, historian, documented many historical moments in America. The Band of Brothers story being one of them, an absolutely incredible story. If you've not seen that miniseries, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg put that together, along with other miniseries like The Pacific and most recently Masters of the Air, documenting the bloody 100th, the 100th in the 8th Air Force, the 100th B-17 bombing squadron there. Just showing the many stories that have been told and so many more stories that were not told by the soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marines, all of those that had gone and served in World War II. Much of our fathers, our grandfathers, and great-grandfathers. Reading from the Morning Brew today, the commemoration that's going on over in Normandy right now. It's especially poignant for this year. It could be the last major commemoration that involves World War II veterans. People who were 20 years old when the Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6 are now 100. Given the gravitas of this year's anniversary, organizers are giving it a last hurrah feel, holding concerts, parachute drops, ceremonies, and parades in what will be the biggest D-Day commemoration in history. Fewer than 200 World War II vets have traveled to France, supported by aides, to take it all in one final time. President Biden is one of the roughly 25 world leaders who will be in Normandy to mark the occasion. So yeah, big commemoration going on there now is this will most likely be the last major commemoration where World War II veterans are still alive. Both of my grandfathers served. One was over in the Pacific, one was over in England. My dad's dad was a communications officer in the 8th Air Force. He was one of the guys that would open up the map and brief the crews on where they were going to go as they go on those bombing missions. And having watched Masters of the Air, the latest miniseries from Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, documenting the bloody 100th, I remember my grandfather died when I was pretty young. I think probably when I was about 10 years old, he passed away. But one memory I have of him is that he would stand at the kitchen window and he would stare out for hours at a time, just staring into the void. And I never understood why he would do that. And I can only imagine, kind of see now what the reality was like with the losses that were suffered. And you would lose, if you lost a crew in a B-17, that's 10 people all at one time that were gone. You lose a few of those ships, and that's a lot of crews that didn't come home. So there's a lot going on, and a lot. I'm so thankful for all the resources that are there for our veterans now to deal with PTSD and to deal with things that they've witnessed while in service to our country. So one, thank you to all those who served. And if you talk to a veteran or you listen to their stories, oftentimes you'll hear them say that the real heroes are the ones that didn't come back. And it reminds me of my time when I got to go over to Normandy. I got to go over and see the beaches in my early 20s. And it is an experience I'll never forget. I had read the book Band of Brothers, and I had been up on World War II. That was kind of being a history nerd and loving to kind of research that sort of stuff. I knew about the beaches. I knew about different stories that had happened around there in the town called Saint-Marie-Église, where they still have, when I was there, and I think to this day, they have a paratrooper from the 101st, or I can't remember if it was 101st or 82nd Airborne, got basically his parachute got snagged on the bell tower of the church there in the town. And this poor guy basically was hanging there all night playing dead because the Germans in the town there, if he started moving, were probably going to shoot him. But the bell was ringing all night because there was fires in the town from all the bombing and the machine gun fire going off. So everybody, they were ringing the bell. This poor guy's hanging there right next to this bell, and I think went deaf in one of his ears. I think he actually survived, but they have a mannequin basically hanging from a parachute to this day in that town from that same church. So if you go to that town, you'll see the guy hanging from the parachute there. And it's very interesting with a lot of all the war that happened there, being able to go through that town. You go to the church there, and they replaced the stained glass window. And part of the panels in the stained glass window in the church there is they redid it. And when they put the stained glass window in it, they put paratroopers. So one of the windows has a stained glass of a paratrooper with their chute deployed coming down into. So it really shows you the impression that that our guys did when they came into that town to liberate that town. And again, so many stories, some of them told, very famous, and some of them that have not been told and will never be told. We'll never know what all happened on that night and in those subsequent days. But very grateful for my time to go over there. And I shared at the top of last hour when I was walking the beaches of Normandy, especially on Omaha Beach, which was a very costly, very bloody beach for the American forces that landed there. It was a summer day, and people were out playing with the beach balls and out in the surf, and sitting on their beach chairs enjoying the sun. And at first you're like, wait a minute, hang on a second. This is hallowed ground. How dare you? But then you quickly realize, well, no, that's exactly why that battle was fought that day. This is exactly why those men did what they needed to do, because of events like this, for people to get out and to live their life and to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today. So it was a very stark reminder, a great reminder. I'll never forget when you go up on the bluffs there and you can go into the bunkers that the Germans had, Hitler's seawall of defense there, that they put all these bunkers, all of this concrete, pretty much slave labor they used to build all of that. But you go into those bunkers and you walk around in it, and you can see the timbers. You can see the timbers are burned. And my guess was that, as they were using flamethrowers and trying any which way they could to get guys out of there, you can see all of the remnants. If you go to Point du Hoc, we had a chance to go to Point du Hoc up there, where the Army Rangers scaled up that cliff because they thought there were big guns just a little bit back off of that point there that were going to fire down on the beaches and also fire out on their ships out in the canal. And you just walk in these ginormous craters that were pockmarked by our naval ships that just shot and just bombarded this thing. And there's still, to this day, these massive craters there. And you walk around and you see what those guys were up against to scale this basically sheer to get up there and then to overtake these guns that we thought were up there. So forever grateful that I had the chance to go over there, to walk those, to see inland there, to see those towns that on this day, 80 years ago on this day, a lot was happening, a lot was going on. And I'm so grateful that we have documented stories, that we have those stories to tell, that we've got books to read, that we can understand at least part of what happened that day, what those guys went through that day, the triumphs and the tragedies that happened, what they had to overcome. And from here, looking at some facts on D-Day, although the Allies failed to achieve any of their goals on the first day, the foothold that the Allies captured forced Germany to fight the war on two fronts, and with nine months, the Allies were victorious over the German army. So yeah, a lot went wrong that way, but went wrong that day, but enough went right that they established the foothold, and that was the goal. So as we remember today, don't forget, as you're going about to today, June 6th, 80th commemoration of D-Day over in France. All right, we need to find out what our day is looking like. And for that, we're going to look to meteorologist Tim Root to give us a weather update. Timmy, how are we looking out there?
Good morning. The excessive heat warning will continue today. Blazing sunshine, temperatures around 98. It looks like a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour.
Yeah, it was real interesting being in those bunkers and in that beach, walking around.
A little bit cooler for the weekend. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday. Highs about 85 to 90. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of Daily Dad Jokes. Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Listen to the Garden Goddesses Saturday morning at 8 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
If you want to be kept in the plant know, join us on our radio show, The Garden Goddesses, Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. on the one and only KAHI Radio, AM 950, FM 104.5, the voice of the foothills. Call in to win a prize from Green Acres Nursery and Supply.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues
All right,
like
we're going to
cholesterol,
pay off
diabetes, women's
3
health,
headlines and a
children,
lie.
geriatrics, relationships, and
this.
more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
12 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:12 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Loomis. Currently at 79 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Woo! Meteorologist Tim Root warned us about this one. Looking for a high today of 100 degrees. All right. If you were tuning in just at the end of last hour, on Thursdays we do 3 headlines and a lie. It's time to pay that off, gang. 3 headlines and a lie. 3 of the headlines are absolutely real. One of them is completely made up. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. As a reminder, if you missed it or if you need a reminder one more time, here we go. Here they are. I like how this is from the Morning Brew, how they put it. 3 of them are real. 1 is faker than the estimated walk time on Apple Maps. Here we go. First one, new Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of sardine magnate. Number 2, study says that people who like loud exhausts are psychotic. Number 3, IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roblox store. And it's like an online digital store, digital neighborhood, if you don't know what Roblox is. And number 4, deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary. Now that 4th one, I feel like that's been a thing before. That feels a little too true to be. So again, here we go. Oh, no, producer Adam, that's the wrong one. Go back. There we go. Let's have that one. There we go. All right. New Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of a sardine magnate. Study shows that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic. Number 3, IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roblox store. And number 4, deceased New Jersey congressman wins the primary. Did you guess which of those headlines is fake and which of the other ones are real? Are we ready for it? Producer Adam, here we go. Little music, just a little thinking music here. And the headline that was completely made up, this was the very last one that I guessed. I got it completely wrong this time. The one that is made up is new Netflix reality show will be hosted by the estranged son of sardine magnate. That was made up. The other ones, study says that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic. IKEA is hiring people to serve digital meatballs in its Roblox store, and deceased New Jersey congressman wins primary. Those are all real, all actual headlines. So if you guessed it, congratulations to you. If not, we'll try again next Thursday. All right, we need to turn it over now to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Stuart Barney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened narrowly higher and turned mixed. The number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time last week rose by 8,000 to 229,000. The market is waiting for the monthly employment report released tomorrow. The European Central Bank lowered interest rates this morning. Canada lowered rates yesterday. NVIDIA shares opened up 1.5%. The AI chip maker rose to a $3 trillion stock market value yesterday, topped only by Microsoft. Reports say regulators are looking more closely at companies involved in AI, including NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, and startup Inflection AI. Big Lots shares are down 12% after a weak quarter, but J.M. Smucker's quarter was upbeat. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Success, it's discipline, it's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel, it's where success meets success. Start your journey at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and
Mountain Valley Property Management in Grass Valley says, don't be afraid to discuss the problems concerning drug abuse with your children, including methamphetamine. Help stamp out this growing problem through education. This message from Dave, the owner of Mountain Valley Property Management, in loving memory of his late brother who left us too soon. For information or service, call 530-272-1631, 530-272-1631 for Mountain Valley Property Management in Grass Valley, on the air because they care about a drug-free future for our children and community.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. If you're heading out to the roadways, well, hey, if you're heading out to the airport, give yourself some extra time. It looks like we've got some problems on 80 westbound as you're heading over to I-5. Looks like we've got a grass fire that's 80 westbound at Watt Avenue there, so that's causing some slowdowns. And then just a little bit past that, we've got an accident. Let's see if I can get back on that over here. Hang on. Click on that right there. We've got an accident, right lane block. That's I-80 westbound at Marysville Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard, and it's backing everything up to Watt. So grass fire and an accident on I-80 westbound there heading over to I-5. So again, if you're heading out to the airport this morning, give yourself some extra time. I-5 northbound slowing around Airport Boulevard, and southbound coming into Sacramento is slow as well. 65 southbound looking pretty good right now. 80 eastbound and westbound if you're heading up and down through Roseville or up or down through Auburn into the mountains looking good. 50 eastbound and westbound looking real good too, just slowing down as you're getting towards 59th Street in Sacramento. But other than that, looking good there. And Highway 49, if you're going across the canyon from Placerville to Sacramento, or Placerville to Auburn, or Auburn to Placerville, no traffic restrictions reported at this time. Back with more right after this.
Homer Insurance, here to say you are only as good as the people you work with. At Homer Insurance, we represent and work with 5-star A-rated carriers that are the best at what they do. Whether it's general liability for your business or getting a better rate on workers' compensation, at Homer, we will find you the very best policy at an amazing rate. Saving businesses money is what we do every day. What better time to save big money on your insurance than right now? We saved a beauty salon $2,200. We saved a general contractor $4,700, and we saved a private school $75,000. No matter what you do, you deserve to have the best insurance coverage at the best 916-339-7070. And let Homer Insurance do the work for you. It takes one quick call to 916-339-7070, and in minutes you'll see what Homer can do for you. Call right.
19 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:19 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Sports Ball. If you're a Giants fan, the Giants score and the Dodgers score, those will make you smile. Off to America's First News. I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
First News continues. We begin in Washington. That's where House Speaker Mike Johnson Wednesday appointed two far-right Republicans to the powerful House, positioning two close allies of Donald Trump, who worked to overturn the 2020 presidential election on a panel.
Okay, 4 minutes for our next segment. Okay, after edit the news. Bye.
Scott Perry and Ronnie Jackson were announced on House floor Wednesday. Johnson, the hardliner from Louisiana who has aligned himself with Trump, was replacing spots on the committee that opened up after the resignations of Republicans. Representatives Perry and Jackson continued carrying Trump's stolen election lie and his attacks on the justice and intelligence communities. Johnson's announcement came days after he outlined a three-pronged approach on how the Republican majority can target the Justice Department.
Are you weaponizing the House the same way you say Democrats were weaponizing the DOJ to get what they wanted? Are you just doing it in a bigger platform the entire House represented?
No, there is a very clear distinction between what we are doing and what they have done in weaponizing the judicial system. They're undermining the people's faith in our institutions, our system of justice itself. What we're doing, is the opposite. We are trying to adhere to the rule of law. We're trying to use the authority and the responsibility that we have in Congress to ensure that people can trust our justice system. It's absolutely essential to maintain a constitutional republic, and they are undermining the public's faith in that. We are here to hold the line and say, no, the rule of law has to be adhered to, and we can't have rogue prosecutors using our courts for political vendettas, and that's exactly what they're doing to Donald Trump.
Johnson making the denial that Fox News is Neil Cavuto. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries condemned the Republicans' plans that start investigations of the prosecutions of Trump, who is also charged with election interference in Georgia, as well as federal charges related to allegations of mishandling classified documents and looking to overturn his election laws.
Let me speak to the general issue as it relates to the effort to create a political advantage or the extreme MAGA Republicans by trying to raise this issue of so-called weaponization. They have a select committee on weaponization. It has been a complete and spectacular failure. And so there's no reason for any of us on the Democratic side to believe that based on the fact that the former president, who went through a judicial process just like any other American, and at the end of that process, which lasted for 5 weeks, you had 12 jurors come to a unanimous conclusion that the former president was guilty of 34 felonies, and that somehow is indication of weaponization. Well, that was a state prosecution that had nothing to do with President Biden or the Department of Justice.
Candidates, office holders, and members of Trump's family have amplified his calls for retribution against political enemies and urged their fellow Republicans to start charging Democrats with crimes. Wisconsin's Attorney General has filed felony charges against 2 attorneys and an aide who helped submit paperwork falsely saying former President Trump won the battleground state in 2020. The charges stem from a fake elector scheme that are first to come in Wisconsin and follow separate charges brought in Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, and Georgia. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call did not rule out filing more charges, including against the 10 fake electors, saying the investigation is ongoing.
This morning, we filed a criminal complaint in Dade County Circuit Court charging 3 defendants in connection with an alleged conspiracy to have electors who are not duly appointed presidential electors meet and cast votes in Wisconsin in December 2020 and transmit a so-called certificate of the votes of the 2020 electors from Wisconsin that in part referred to these electors as the duly elected and qualified electors for president and vice president of the United States of America from the state of Wisconsin, and reflected the votes of these unappointed electors for president and vice president. Specifically, the complaint charges Kenneth J. Chesborough, Michael A. Roman, and James R. Trupas with conspiring to commit the crime of uttering as genuine a forged writing or object in violation of Wisconsin statutes.
The fake elector efforts are central to an August federal indictment filed against Trump, alleging he tried to overturn the results of his election loss. Federal prosecutors investigating his conduct related to the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot have also said the scheme originated in Wisconsin. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called Wednesday for a windfall tax on profits of fossil fuel companies to help pay for the fight against global warming, calling them the godfathers of climate chaos. He spoke in a bid to revive the world's focus on climate change at a time when elections, inflation, and conflict in places like Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan have stolen the spotlight.
It's time to put an effective price on carbon and tax the windfall profits of fossil fuel companies. And by COP29, we need early movers to go from exploring to implementing solidarity levies on sections such as shipping, aviation, and fossil fuel extraction to help fund climate action. The cost of all this chaos is hitting people where it hurts. From supply chains severed to rising prices, mounting food insecurity, and uninsurable homes and businesses. Meanwhile, the godfathers of climate chaos, the fossil fuel industry, rake in record profits and feast off trillions in taxpayer-funded subsidies.
Guterres said global emissions of carbon dioxide must fall 9% each year to 2030 for the 1.5 degrees Celsius target under the Paris Climate Accords. The World Meteorological Organization's commemorate told a news conference in Geneva that the global mean near surface temperature for each year from 2024 to 2028 is expected to range between 1.1 and 1.9 degrees hotter than at the start of the industrial era.
There is a nearly 9 in 10 likelihood that at least 1 year between 2024 and 2028 will be the hottest on record, even hotter than 2023, which smashed all temperature records. And this report makes it clear that we are on a record-breaking warming path. It's expected to get even worse over the next 5 years. There's an 80% likelihood that the annual average global temperature will temporarily exceed 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels for at least one of the next 5 calendar years. Back in 2015, the chance was close to zero. Beyond the predictions and statistics is the stark reality that we risk trillions of dollars in economic losses, millions of lives upended, and destruction of fragile and precious ecosystems and the biodiversity that exists there. What is clear is that the Paris Agreement target of 1.5 degrees C is hanging on a thread.
A study released Tuesday by 57 scientists said that as the world keeps burning fossil fuels, Earth is likely to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit in 4.5 years. Now, the European Central Bank plans to move ahead of the Fed Reserve today in cutting interest rates, making the Eurozone the biggest rich world economy to begin easing borrowing costs for businesses and consumers. Inflation that arose after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine slowly recedes. ECB President Christine Lagarde and other officials have made it clear that a quarter-point rate cut from the current record high of 4% is more than likely. Such a move would represent a switch from the onset of the inflation surge, when the Fed took the lead in tightening credit by raising rates. Beginning in March of 2022, the ECB started about 4 months later. Here at home, the Fed Reserve faces a different economy, one in which government stimulus and pandemic recovery spending and more robust growth fueled inflation. The U.S. Consumer Price Index is at an annual 3.4%, far from the Fed's 2% target. More on the way on this Thursday morning. You can always reach out to me on social media. I'm at Matt Ray Talk. You've got America's First News.
Did you know that healthy heart make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of the United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is Thursday, June 6th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Meadow Vista. Currently, it is 81 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 96 degrees. Goodness gracious, it's going to be warm out there. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. Yesterday, A's versus the Mariners. The A's sailed away with the victory this time. They were on top there 2-1. A's will wrap up that home series today against the Mariners. We've got an afternoon game. The radio start time here on KAHI today is going to be at 11:55 a.m. and the first pitch will be at 12:37 p.m. So we've got an earlier game today. A's versus the Mariners. Radio start time 11:55 a.m. First pitch is at 12:37 p.m. this afternoon. Padres versus the Angels, an all Southern California game there. Padres lose that one. Angels fly away with the victory there. Win that one 3-2. Tigers versus the Rangers. Anybody care about that one? Rangers way on top there, 9-1. Here's some scores that are going to make you smile. Dodgers versus the Pirates, if you're a Giants fan. Pirates stomp them there, win that one 10-6. Giants versus the D-backs. Giants on top there, win that one 9-3. That's a good day for Giants fans yesterday. Giants win. Dodgers lose. Rockies versus the Reds. Reds decisively on top there, 12-7. Going here to the Auburn Journal. In my hot little hands, we've got the Auburn Journal Girls Athlete of the Year. Of Colfax High School is Auburn Journal's Girl Athlete of the Year for 2023-2024. Dday is a throwback multiple sport star +2. She has helped lead the Falcons to league and San Joaquin section championships in soccer and basketball. She was a long jump league champ in track and field this spring. She plays volleyball, and last fall she added a 5th sport, joining flag football for its inaugural season, and of course made a stellar impression with a whopping 34 interceptions. Good news for the Falcons and bad news for opposing players in her 5 sports. She'll be back for her senior year in the fall. So congratulations to KAHI Dday of Colfax High School. She is Auburn Journal's Girl Athlete of the Year for 2023 and 24. Back with your KAHI weather right after this. Okay. Last segment. Meteorologist Tim Root, you're up. Get ready. Producer Adam. Get ready to go.
Good morning. The excessive heat warning will continue today. Blazing sunshine, temperatures around 98. It looks like a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mid-60s overnight, mostly clear and light winds expected. Just a little bit cooler Friday, mostly sunny around 92, 93, light south winds. A little bit cooler for the weekend. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday. Highs about 85 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.9 and AM 950 KAHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Gang, tomorrow we've got a full dance card. Going to be talking to Christy over at Auburn State Theater. We're going to talk about cocktails and cinema, chat a little bit about that. I heard Marcus Allen from Good Day is going to be here doing the TV thing as well, talking to them about that. Then in the 7 o'clock hour, that's in the 6 o'clock hour. In the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to Leilani from Placer SPCA, find out what's going over there. And then Mary Jane and I will have our normal Friday chat as well. Looking forward to catching up with her. And until we meet again tomorrow, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself. And remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a fantastic day on this day. Remember, D-Day happening today, 80th year commemoration. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. I pulled the wrong fader. Dang it. Oh, well. All right. Put the board back in automatic control. Bring all the faders down. Reset my timer. Unplug the headphones. The post checklist.
State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller. Earlier today, there was a shooting incident outside of our embassy in Beirut.
That looks like a gavel.
The embassy's
It's not a gavel, but it looks like a gavel.
The gunman was arrested.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm so sorry. This is like a big week for something at work, and I totally spaced.
Oh, blast. Okay, it's
So-
actually Sean's week.
He was here last week.
Yeah, he did an extra week.
Oh, he did?
because
Okay.
I did one of his weeks. Is
Oh.
he there? Or are you still there?
I'm still here. He doesn't usually roll until like 5 minutes before the start of the recording. So I'll give him, I think I've got his number. I'll give him a call.
Okay, cool.
So awesome. All right. My bad. I'm sorry. I'll just pick a rerun and run it. So, all right. I'm less worried about inconveniencing him.
No worries.
That sounds bad, but okay. Whatever. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Okay. Bye.